Hello, I'm Kyle Crowling. I'm a sophomore at Gulick High School, and today I'm going to show you how to install and use a Linux virtual machine. So let's get started on the information. I have Notion notes to explain what certain things are. Essentially, in its simplest terms, a virtual machine is just a computer in a computer. A virtual machine is mostly software based that runs inside of a physical computer. So it takes up some memory storage and some CPU cores in order to function like a normal computer. So virtual machines are mostly useful if you want to do certain things that might be unsafe for your base software, and you can run multiple operating systems. So you could practice cybersecurity in different settings. They're efficient, easy recoverable, uh, and you can get legacy software on them, such as Windows 7, Windows XP, and stuff like that. So, virtual machines are they are only run on hypervisors. There are two types of those. Hypervisors, there's type 1 hypervisors, and there are type 2 hypervisors. Type 1 hypervisors are directly on the physical hardware. There's no host operating system between. So these are some of the examples: KVM, VMware, Microsoft Hyper-V, and server mode. The pros of Type 1 hypervisors: there's higher performance, they're more secure, and they're most commonly used in data centers and cloud providers. Only downside is that they're really complex to set up. But when the other type of hypervisor, the Type 2 hypervisors, uh, these are your VirtualBox, VMware Workstation or Fusion, and Parallels Desktop. They're easy to install and use. They're good for professional use, development, testing, stuff like that. Only it's slightly slower because it relies on a host operating system. Hypervisors matter because they are the foundation of cloud computing, server virtualization, and the efficient use of hardware, as well as running multiple operating systems on one machine, and it's a great development environment. Alright, so this is Oracle's VirtualBox. This is the Oracle. Alright, this is Oracle VirtualBox. This is the hypervisor we are going to use. This is a hypervisor 2 because it is working on our host OS. Ignore that. This is working on our host OS. So let me load this up. So, all right, here you go. This is what Oracle VirtualBox's manager looks like. As you can see, we have a lot of stuff. You have your home page, your machines page, your extensions, media network, all that stuff. Now you have these buttons, your preferences. I have it set to dark mode. You can customize it however you want. Just make sure you know what you're doing. You have new and open. You can open a virtual machine you already had on here, or you can make a brand new one. That's what we're going to do. As you can see, I already have a virtual machine in here, uh, but we are going to show how you make a new one. The first thing you do when making a virtual machine is you obviously have to have a ISO, or an individual operating system that you can use. So we are going to use Linux Ubuntu. You can find it here at the download link. Download it for Windows, and you can run it, or you can get an entire server. So we downloaded it a while ago, and it should make sure you separate the Linux operating system from the actual virtual machine, or the Linux ISO from the virtual machine. So if you go here, we have our virtual machines, and we have the original operating system that was downloaded. Then we have all of the snapshots of my other virtual machine. All right, so when starting to make a Linux virtual machine, you have to first, of course, press new. Got to figure out a VM name. I'm going to do VM-test Linux 24. Doesn't have to be that long, could be way shorter, just like test. Doesn't really matter all that much. Now, the ISO image. It automatically makes a file for it to go in, so don't change that, it's fine. Your ISO image, that is important. You would have to go to other, and then if you have good file management, it should just be under the ISO, and it should be this. Ubuntu 24.04.3 desktop AMD 64. So you open that, and then let's see, what do we have here? Ah, yes, you need a username. Hey, editing Kyle here. When you make your virtual machine, make sure you go to specify virtual hardware and adjust the RAM. That way your virtual machine will actually go fast, as well as your CPU. And don't forget about your storage. I recommend about 50 gigabytes to 80 gigabytes of storage, depending on how much you have on your main PC. And assuming you have like 16 gigabytes of RAM, go with about 4 gigabytes of RAM for the virtual machine. Or if you have 32, I suggest going with 8 gigabytes. If your CPU has about 12 cores, these CPUs are the core count. You can figure out the core count when you press Control-Alt-Delete. You can go to Performance, you go to CPU, you can find what CPU you have. As a matter of fact, you can... Actually, no, I'm not going to do that. And you can just Google that CPU, see what the specs are on it, how many cores it has, depending on that number. I have 12 cores, so I will put 4 cores in. That way it goes kind of fast. So just remember that. All right, I'll let you get back to the video. Tester, your product key, doesn't matter, you don't need one. Then a password. I don't think it can have numbers. Wait, no, it can. I'm just gonna have it simple since I'm not going to mess with it that much. Alright, so there you go. You have the username and the password. Then you finish it, then bam, it's made. Now we wait for it to load up. We're gonna have to let it install. There we go. Now it is installing Linux. Now we wait for it to do all that. I will skip to when it fully loads up. Alright, so when it fully loads up, it will show this. It will say, welcome to Linux and Ubuntu, it is preparing, and it will start installing the full OS. So, we wait. Alright, so now that Linux has restarted, you will see this screen. It shows your profile, and when you click on it, it shows you gotta enter your password, so I'll do that right now. And we wait a few minutes. Bam, we're in. So, Linux has been fully installed. So, over here, you have your applications bar. You have your App Center, you have Firefox. I recommend installing Chrome or whatever browser you prefer. Then you have your files. Using the command Control Alt T, I have opened the command line interface. We have root access, which means we are the administrator of this. So, if I wanted to, let's say I need to update this machine. I will do that right now, actually. So, for this, we will do sudo update. As you can see, you heard my keys going, but no letters showed up. That is for security reasons. It will not show up your password in the command line interface, but it still will. Command not found. Why could this be? Let me check my notes, see if I just got it wrong. Let's see. Yes, I did get it wrong. The command is sudo apt update. There you go. That's better. Alright, now you do sudo apt upgrade. Yes. Now here you have Linux updating itself. Now I will skip to when it is all done, which should only take a few minutes. Or up to like 10 minutes, depending on how much RAM and how much stuff you gave it. Alright, as you can see, it is almost done. When it is done, should be now. Now, I recommend you reboot, doing the sudo reboot. There we go. And Linux has been updated. Now, as you can see, Linux is just a small window. In order to fix this, you will need to do right control F. As you can see, it just went full screen. Make sure you do right control rather than just left control, or else it will not do the same thing. Next up, in order to make it full screen, you will need to go to this top right corner to the settings button. When it opens, you can mess with all this nice stuff. You will go to display, and you will need to go to resolution. Depending on your computer, your resolution will be different. But for my computer, it is 1020 by 1080. So let's find that. 1020. Where is it? Or is it 1920 by 1080? I think it's 1920 by 1080. Let's see. Keep changes. Let's see. Right control F. Nothing has really changed. So, that is all good. We're now full screened. And if you go down here, there's this little bar to help input in case you attach something like an Arduino microcontroller for USB. your files, all of that cool stuff. To shut it down, it's me again. I just want to let you know, you might need to take snapshots. They're very important. In order to take a snapshot, you need to have the virtual machine running, and you come over from this details, you come over to this snapshots bar, and then it shows all of your snapshots, your original install, and over here it has a button to take a snapshot. To do that, you just click the button, you name it. I'm just gonna do mine as post dash IDE install, because I have an Arduino IDE installed on here and it works. So I'm gonna do that, and there you go. You have a snapshot. It will take a tiny bit to load, but that is how to properly take a snapshot. Make sure it loads fully before you turn your VM off. And I make sure you don't have to, it's just good because it takes up a lot of space. You can, if you want, to delete the other snapshot. I'm going to, because that's recommended. Make sure you wait until it is fully deleted. Then you can go ahead and delete your virtual machine, or not delete, turn off your virtual machine. Alright, I'll let you get back to all of that cool stuff. To shut it down, you can just come over here and click shut off, or you can go to your command line interface and do sudo shut, oh wait, no capitals, make sure there are no capitals, shut down, oh wait, no, you need sudo, sorry, sudo shut down now. Then you need your password. There you go, it has been shut down. Congratulations, you've just made your first Linux virtual machine. I hope you all have a great day. And remember, please like and subscribe, because I really want to further my endeavors in Linux, in cybersecurity, in video games. I really want to know what you all enjoy. So, without a doubt, I will see you next time. Have a good night.